Good morning, fellow option traders. This is Friday, December 7th, 2012, and this is the Daily Scan. Let's review where we are right now. First, we'll go through the spread portfolio. Everything's doing pretty good. Jumped into Chipotle yesterday with that Iron Condor that I mentioned. I did adjust the strikes on it, however, because it had a pretty good morning. By the time I got to it, it had changed a little bit. So let me put that in here, add it to my list, and I will show you what we have going here. Alright, so when I opened it, it actually had like a 0 for the delta, and now we're at 3. Not a big deal. Not concerned about it at this time, but what's interesting is how it looks on a chart, and this is how she looks. These are the short strikes, and I did what I did yesterday when I showed you. I set the I went over here and set slices to charts. First I set slices to break even, and I set slices to charts, and popped it up here on the chart. And that's what happens. Get rid of this middle one because that's the current price, or at least when I set it up it was a current price. So we get rid of the middle one. And there's a pretty good chance that if the current price action continues, if history is any indication of the future, which is what we do here basically, right? We're looking at history and we're saying, well, based on what I know, which is history, this is where it probability of it going is this way. And that's what this trading stuff is all about. Investing is different. Trading is about mostly direction or non-direction, one or the other. Let's look at the rest of the positions on the spread. We're looking pretty good on practically everything. Let's take a look at the profit tent portfolio. Starting to recover a little bit here. This vertical. This is the actually this is the December portfolio that I put in as verticals. I didn't load it as an Iron Condor, so that this is kind of a good way. When I bought into it, I didn't buy it as Iron Condors, I bought it as verticals. This month I bought these as Iron Condors, so it's got them separated, and if you'll see, these are all Januaries, and this rut is January, and the verticals, these are all Decembers. And I think I'm probably going to enter every other month as a vertical or an Iron Condor, just so I can keep them separated. Alright, that's enough review for current positions. Let's take a look at the market. We'll bring up the cash indexes and take a look at those. First we'll do the S&P 500 cash index, the SPX. We are in a downtrend, and we have stochastics heading up, and the MACD heading up, and the MACD moving average heading up. Now we might test this here, and if it fails, this is already a test. We've already tested this many times and has not been able to break through. So from an overall market perspective, flat to bearish is my current thinking. And if I were to do something on the SPX cash index, I would be doing a bearish type of a play. Let's take a look at the rut. And it's been riding the 50 moving average on the daily chart. On the weekly chart, we have looks like maybe running out of steam here to the upside. We have moving averages up, but it might be running out of steam because you know, it did break through the 50 here. This is kind of an unusual looking pattern here. Breaking through there. Let's just zoom in a little bit. The 15, which is the white dotted line, we did get a close above it, and we spent a whole day above it. Usually when you stay above or below the 15 and you're not bouncing up against it, there's some power to whatever move it is. So we'll just have to see how today works out. We could take a look at the Russell futures, but I think for the most part it's kind of meaningless. And let's take a look at the Dow just for fun. Don't consider it, everybody talks about the Dow, but you know, there's only 30 stocks in it, so that doesn't it doesn't mean a whole heck of a lot to me as an indicator, but everybody likes to kind of look at it. And it's usually the leading number, I think, probably because it's so big. It's a big number. So we did get above 13,000, and we did close above it yesterday. So that's interesting. But on a daily chart, we're still below the 50, and the 50 is angling down. You know what? This pattern looks very familiar. Overall, the pattern looks pretty familiar. What if we did this? Let's do a daily over here. Get this chart to kind of match up. Let's unlink it. Let's bring the SPX up. Let's get about the same zoom level here. Let's go all the way out first. All the way out. And then let's start zooming in. Do one zoom in. And what do we see here? If watch the line on the middle chart, on the middle daily chart. Watch the vertical line as I move my cursor. We're moving up, 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 a little pullback, steep climb up, flat, little pullback, climb up. I mean, these patterns look almost identical, don't they? So from an index perspective, with the exception of maybe the Russell at times, which may react more significantly than the other indexes, just because it's small caps, the pattern is pretty much the same. So if you want to play the Dow, if you want to play from a cash index perspective, or if you want to play the spiders, or if you want to play NASDAQ or any of those, they're pretty much, price action wise, they're pretty much the same. I guess that's the words of wisdom for today. Alright, let's run through the A+ list. Close this down. Let's go hide this. Apple. Interesting. Apple is so fascinating. Yesterday was, it opened lower, but the price range was as great as it was the day before. This was like, what, a $30 or $35 range, and this one is pretty much the same. $5.19 to $5.53, so that's a huge range. Lots of opportunities in there on an intraday perspective for day traders. Now, what are we looking at here? We're in a downtrend. Don't want to fight the trend from a spread perspective. So if Apple's going to do anything, have a couple of flat days or up days, which would bring the stochastic up and then give us an entry signal. if we're still in a downtrend. The weekly, it's starting to flatten out a little bit. Let me see if we can see that just a little bit better here. It's not quite as steep. This is pounding it down. And like I said about the 15 moving average, anytime that you are opening and closing away from this average, that's a very powerful move. And the same thing goes for this whole move right here. This was extremely powerful. And I need to listen to myself, because I think it was right around in here where I did that bullish play. It's like, what are you, nuts? Well, so I don't even listen to my own advice. Amazon. Okay, we're pretty flat here. I'm not real excited about anything that might be going on with Amazon with a moving average here. But on a weekly, let me just back out just a hair on this one. On a weekly, we look pretty impressive. Let me raise this up here. So I'm going to squish that down so much. There. But no entry. There was an entry back here. This was looking really good. Powerful move down, and then at this pop, which was right around here on the daily, would have been a very good place to get in, and actually we did. Baidu, remember they were not looking real good. Looks a little bit like Apple in some ways. No entry on Baidu. No entry on the long term either. We had an entry here. We didn't take it. CF we're in, Chipotle we're in, CRM we're in, pretty sure. Yes. Google we're still in. I just want to take a look at that though, because I don't think I really looked at it yesterday. Right, I think we're looking pretty good on this one. Your entered BUP is a bull put. BU for bull and P for put. BEC is a bear call. BE for bear, C for call. So if I use those abbreviations anywhere, you'll know what they are. MasterCard, we are still in. I just want to take a look at that chart, however. This is a bull put. We need to stay above our alert here at 449. And we're doing okay. Collecting money, crazy price line. Alright, price line is in an uptrend, and this is a secondary entry if it drops below 45. This is a secondary entry. What else we got going here? We have, well, that's not good. We got MACD. We have a red bar on MACD, and we have the moving average just started tipping down. That's not real exciting. And we're not getting any confirmation on the long-term chart from a stochastic perspective. This would be probably a risky move. There's a lot of doji-like candles here indicating indecision. Probably will stay away from it, like a little stronger signal from that. Panera. Oh, this is interesting on a weekly perspective. We just came down here and we're testing the 50 moving average. And here, remember this wedge we drew? Well, we just broke to the downside on this wedge. So I think Panera is definitely running out of gas. We're just waiting for some place to enter. The entry signal. And that's it for the A+ list for today. Thanks a heck of a lot for watching, and you have a great day and happy trading.